To the bottom left of the map of Daybreak, we now in green have our Protoss player for Team MVP down a map in this best of 3. It is
MVP Lure.
I love those orange caps on his keyboard. It looks really fancy.
Yeah. To the top right starts Lure's opponent, also for Team MVP. This is the 1-0 lead here.
MVP DongRaeGu.
I'm just wondering why the change to orange. It goes with the Hot 6 logo.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm stretching here.
You know what I can't believe is that in the last game we had this huge mistake with the Phoenixes.
Yeah.
Parking them on top of the Hydra list. This was like, DongRaeGu was probably looking at it, was like, whoa, what's happening here? There has to be a trap. That
He was scared the Phoenixes were actually going to explode into psionic storms on top of his Hydras. He was really scared. That's why he was shaking so much.
Phoenixes are actually like kamikaze planes. Just going for the self-destruct and then bam. Oh.
I almost sneezed to confirm, but now I'm like, I don't know, you took it too far or something. My nose was like,
Well, game 2. DongRaeGu, what is he going to do this time? He is ahead in the series. Now he has 2 chances to reach Code S. That's where he wants to be. Does not get the hatch down right away. Yeah. He started with the pool first here.
Really annoying blocks in game 1 and game 2. And in game 1, DongRaeGu was able to barely get the hatch down, but this time he's having a little bit more trouble. Looks like he's going to take one more shot. Nope, he even gets away with 10. Lure loves to poke structures with his probes. Most people don't do that because it ends up being irrelevant since the Zerg hatcheries will get their hit points back, but he just loves to flex that little particle beam with the probe.
What do you think are we going to see here from Lure in this game? I actually think that we will see a bit more of a normal opening here.
Yeah, I think he's going to try to go for a fast third, but with Phoenixes, with Stargate play maybe, instead of trying to do some sort of crazy third base with like one gateway.
Against DongRaeGu, I can't really see him go into an immortal push. I feel that maybe we see a bit of gateway aggression with maybe even a Warp Prism, then going into the Twilight Council, trying to take this third base. Probably a bit of a longer game in this map.
You know, if we saw the build that we saw from Lure last game on Heart of the Swarm, he would have had the Mothership Core to help out to either slow the Hydras or to use the Time Warp ability, or rather the Cannon ability. Uh-oh, pause here. But now we can talk about this a little bit more in depth. I feel like really excited after watching that build because I think that Lure probably has been doing something with Tempest off with the Fleet Beacon, something similar in Heart of the Swarm, but not been able to tweak it quite yet for Wings of Liberty.
I'm actually a little bit surprised about the pause because it's not a player who pauses the game. It's actually the Korean observer.
He may have, the observing computer may have had a problem, as all I can guess from this.
The admin immediately goes to the player's booth, and we don't have a lot of resources for neither one of those players, so it's not like the keyboard suddenly stopped working.
Yeah, we can see the APM is currently at both players above 150, so...
They still have APM, they still play the game. I'm really curious as to what happened, because usually the only reason when we really see the Korean observer pause the game is when one of those players can't really do anything anymore. If your keyboard stops working, then he waves and tries to just... put attention on it.
I don't see any admins in either booths just now. It makes me feel the Korean observing client had a problem, and he's now saying in chat, ready, ready.
Yeah.
So it looks like
okay,
some sort of problem.
Yeah, both of the players are definitely good to go.
And the Korean caster is just laughing about it. I don't know what the problem was exactly, but oh, okay, so there's a button you can press to get the attention of the administrators. Life did it, and they thought it was a problem.
Life is setting up, and so they said they thought it was a problem with one of the players, but it's actually just Life.
Yeah, so just to give you guys some more context, there's a button you can press in the booth because if you have a keyboard problem, for example, you don't want to just stand up and flail your arms and hope somebody notices. You want that to pause to happen immediately. And Life had some problems setting up for the next best of 3, so he pressed the bell, and this, of course, caused a bit of confusion.
It's basically the same thing when you're in a Korean restaurant. You have your Chugyo button not only in the Kimbap Chon, but you also have it here at the GSL. This is just how Korea works.
Exactly, and you know, I'm glad to hear that. This is my first time finding out about the bell.
Yeah. You know, what I find pretty interesting is that we have a really relaxed atmosphere today with all those teammates facing each other. If you consider that this is the 3rd round of Code A, they are all really relaxed and happy.
Yeah.
I mean, Björn having like a little bit of hysteria going on when he loses, and suddenly Lure, who loses his first game, is also pretty happy about it. Now the game is being paused. DRG finds it pretty amusing. I'm like,
yeah, just some banter going on even in the observer chat, which you don't normally see.
yeah, today seems really relaxed.
Well, I have to say that I like what Lure is doing right now, what he's showing us. He's shown 4 gases. The gases at the natural only have 2 probes in each, and in the main base as well. So he has 4 gases, but only 8 probes as opposed to 12 mining from them. So this is going to give him a little bit more resources to work with. He puts the robo down. Do you feel we'll see an attack, or are you more leaning like I am towards we're going to see him expand with this?
I actually think we are going to see an expansion.
Yeah, this just seems to be his style. He does not normally do all-ins in this matchup.
We had him, I mean, in the last game, what we have seen for Lure was this double Stargate opening. I feel this time he's going to take the 3rd base, but DRG, we already have the 3rd, and I feel that he's just trying to play a macro game here. I don't really see him barreling down on a potential 3rd base of Lure either.
Yeah. DRG has an overload that's very close by the robotics, but he has not seen it yet. Based on the rally point of the robotics, we could have also assumed he was going to send an observer out, and now you can see he's even queued up 2 of them. So he really just wants to get information out. In Heart of the Storm, you can use hallucination to scout, so most people don't play like this, but still needs some liberty.
Well, what we see now is also the Twilight Council, of course, coming up, which allows him to go into the +2 attack upgrade, also getting Blink so that he can defend the 3rd base. The overall positioning for DRG is actually really good at the base. Lure is supply blocked, and yeah, builds those 2 pylons a little bit late.
Messes up with his pro production a little bit, though.
But what I really find interesting is that DRG will know at any point in this game what's going to happen. He has overlords everywhere on this map, and even a few Zerglings at the wall at the front.
Yeah.
So the information for him is like perfect.
He has 60 drones, and he's starting roach production and a bunch of Blinks. He must have seen the observers, because now he knows there's going to be a 3rd base. He's already moving out without having anything near to spot any probes going, or even having any inkling of an idea there's going to be a 3rd base. He just knows. This is his teammate. He's seen the placement of the robotics. He saw the observer. He must have. And now he's going over to attack the 3rd base that has not even been started yet. Lure going into that double upgrade side. We've seen a few more processes switching into these days. Perfectly timed with his Twilight Council to get +2.
And talking about the upgrades, this is a huge advantage that he has in this game. He's going for double upgrades here and has the Chrono Boost. He's adding additional gates. I feel like he abandoned the idea of getting the expansion.
He has seen with the observer a bunch of links coming across the map, and now he's just going to defend. How many sentries he has? He has 6. And he's just going to hold this attack, I feel, and go for a counterattack.
Ah, the cybernetic score is going to fall here.
This is a big
careful. What a mistake. Oh, what a problem for him now with all those Zerglings suddenly being at the front, taking down the sentries. Now the Roaches get their shots off. This is not really good for Lure.
He was desperate. You know, he could not allow that core to go down, or he was going to lose way too much production, would never be able to move out again. As it stands, though, he micros pretty well. He turns an awkward situation into a better one now.
At first he loses quite a lot of sentries, but then the Immortals show their power and take down Roach after Roach, so this was a lot better. But at the beginning, with all those links trapped inside of the force fields, it looked really dangerous.
It looked dangerous for sure, and Lure's upgrades were not ready, but now he has the unit composition, he has the production with all those gateways he added to hit a really nice timing against DRG here and counter pressure him. And DRG is going into mutas behind this. If DRG can hold on just a little bit longer, or if Lure decides to back off and take a 3rd, DRG is going to have a massive lead. But there's the Warp Prism. I think we just have to see Lure go for a big attack. He needs perfect force fields, and where are they? They're a bit late.
The force fields are late, and they're also not perfect. He's getting a lot of hits here. 1, 2, 3, at least 3 or 4 of those sentries are gone.
Yeah, that +1 armor really helping keep most of his units alive, though. The sentries do go down. This weakens his push quite a lot, but his blink, his +2 is finishing up his extra gate. He has the Warp Prism. This is going to be insanely difficult for DRG to hold. He needs that Roach speed. He will have it, though.
I'm only surprised that DRG is getting another hatch. He could have used all those minerals to go into a heavy amount of Mutalisks, which he doesn't build now.
Yeah. He just wants to try to hold this without the mutas, it looks like. Start the Spine Crawler.
Let's not forget that we only have a few sentries. 6 sentries, that's not a lot.
Ooh, bad rally here, losing some Roaches for free. If he gets into that choke point, DRG is trying to buy as much time as possible, and it's working out so far. He's forced Lure to be extremely cautious here.
I don't think that he will have a problem at all dealing with this. Not with force fields like this.
The rocks, he should just destroy them, and now he starts to.
And now he's moving in, and suddenly all those sentries are under pressure. The Immortals too.
He needs to blink, he's not doing it.
DRG lost a lot here, and here comes a round of Warpins that could
Warpins
end
is
the life
insane.
of
He has
DRG.
2-1. He has 2-1. He gets no upgrades for the Roaches as far as I know. Yeah, he has no attack upgrade. He only got the upgrade for the Lings. And the Roaches with only speed, he does not have enough. Lure is actually going to put this into a game 3.
Yeah, right. Lure's taking this.
You know, the production was the big problem. GG.
I don't really like what DRG did there, because the problem that I have with DRG's defense is that he went into a Spire. He pressured his opponent's units the entire time, took down sentries that had to be replaced. They cost a lot of gas. There was a lack of stalkers for Lure for a long time up to the last warp in, and DRG had the gas, but he didn't have the minerals. And what does he do? He builds a hatchery at the bottom right that he could never use. If he just builds 8 Mutalisks, then he can suddenly go in and snipe a lot of units before the warp in is there.
Yeah.
And he can even take down the warp prison.
Exactly.
I feel if he would have not built this expansion, but instead committed a little bit heavier to Mutalisk, he would have had a really good chance of defeating this push. I actually thought at the beginning when Lure moved out that there's no chance for him
He
to make
also made like 1 spine crawler, and if you're going to make spines in this situation, you either make like 6 or 7, or you make none. You can't just make 1 spine crawler. Just little decisions like this. It didn't seem like he knew exactly what to do in that situation, but the upgrades for Lure and his insane production, if you corner a beast, that's when the beast is the most dangerous. That's what he did to Lure. He pushed him back. He said, no expansion for you. Lure knew exactly what to do. He just continued with his upgrades, made the Immortals, got the Warp Prism, those gates, counterattacked, and DRG could not deal with it.
Well, we're jumping into the 3rd game now. Whirlwind is going to be the map, and this is going to decide who advances to Korea. This is the GSL 3rd round of Korea. Color Whirlwind.